All right, so Tracy and I have just had an awesome conversation about her rewirement. And now we want to look at her human design chart. So I've literally just pulled it up now. And what I can tell you is so your energy type, your aura that you're born with, there's no getting away from this, is called a manifesting generator. Okay. And what that means is you have this open and enveloping aura, like a big warm hug, which I've had a few since I've been here. So that figures. And you have like this life force energy in you to go, and like to really put everything into your work. The key being when you're lit up by it.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So what do we hear you talk about? Like the twists and turns your career took until like that moment where it's like, it's not, I think you might have even said, this isn't lighting me up anymore, or something along those lines.
Yeah.
And that is typical of a manifesting generator. So the key is all the while you're loving doing your weddings and everything, you could just do it forever.
Yeah.
And you will do it well and you will give it all. And people will just be like, I want Tracy to do my wedding. So onto something there for sure. So yeah, that manifesting generator, it's like you are the builders in the world. So when you were talking about like you're bringing ideas based on what you've done in the past to your new job, it's like your strategy as a manifesting generator is to respond. So what you're doing is you're listening, you're seeing the situation and you're responding with your ideas based on your experience.
Yeah.
So that makes perfect sense that you're bringing in that new, because the manifesting part is that kind of like the ideas and the
But you know what? It's really interesting because I would have said it was an age thing, right? With age comes a bit of confidence that when things stop being fun, I used to think now, being older, you could say, nah, I'm not interested in that anymore. But it's probably not, is it? It's innate within me.
It's innate,
yeah, no, I'm checking out now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then you're like onto the next thing, which is completely natural for you. So yeah, interesting signposts you've got as a manifesting generator is like, am I in alignment on the right path, if you like? One is frustration. So when you feel frustrated, it is a signpost that something's off.
Oh, okay.
So for me, as a manifestor, it's anger. So when I feel anger rise in me, I know something is not quite right.
My eyes rolling out loud. That's mine. I know it.
There you go. Your signature, if you like, so the opposite, the signpost that tells you you're on the right path, is satisfaction. So when you get that real and like your surroundings and the house that you created and everything, that feels like you've got that real satisfaction in like how you create your life.
Good word.
Your inner authority. So we were talking about this earlier, like just trusting that, like you know what's good for you, what's best for you. That inner compass for you is the same as me, same as 50% of the population actually, which is emotional. So what you were saying about being in that room full of technical minded alpha males and you're the one bringing the emotions, that's like, that is what you do, because you are in tune with that, and you are going to potentially be up against people that aren't necessarily as in tune as you, because 50% of the population don't have this this ability to it's not that they don't experience emotions, it's like they don't necessarily know what's theirs or what's not, whereas you and I as emotional authorities, we know that we're experiencing this wave now. So this is our inner authority. So rather than trusting feedback from someone else or trusting that you've talked out of Andy and he said, yeah, do that, you trust your emotional authority, right?
Yes.
The key here is we don't make any decisions in an emotional wave. So it's not trusting your emotions until we're out of the wave.
Yes.
So what tends to happen is we'll experience the highs and the lows really quite extremely, and that's when we don't buy the thing on Vinted.
Yes, thank you.
Or we don't like make the rash decision to like change our life. We wait until we've ridden that out and we come back to some cool, calm, collected.
Yes.
That's when we trust that we move,
Yes.
taking the lessons from that latest emotional wave.
Because I'm not a spontaneous person. I don't do anything in a fit of pique that says, oh my God,
good.
that's it.
That's good.
Yeah.
And neither should you.
Yeah.
I'm just going to pull up your
But it's
chart.
learning to trust those gut feels more.
Absolutely.
You know, because I now do. If something feels off, I know that feeling.
Yes.
And so, okay.
Yeah. So you actually have a defined spleen as well. So
oh, God almighty, is that painful?
That's this is your spleen. And this is where all your fears live. Fears, doubts.
God, yes.
Instincts, intuition. So actually, like I have 57 defined. So that, for example, is a fear of the future. So like an unease or an uncertainty around the future. Now, it doesn't mean that you don't necessarily move and make decisions about the future. It just means that you have to trust your intuition in that moment. So that's exactly what you were talking about. Like, yeah, of course you're thinking like, I've got this amazing job, even though I'm unhappy, should I stay? Financials never going to get as good at that kind of thing, that unease.
Yeah, that backwards and forwards.
But at the end of the day, your intuition spoke louder, and that's what you need to hear. So that's different to your emotional waves, actually.
Yeah.
That's a more, I describe your intuition as more subtle kind of knowing, versus these highs and lows that you experience emotionally.
And also this interesting point around nurture and nature in a way. My dad was a classic, could talk himself out of anything, could come in with an amazing idea and a high. So as children, we were about to emigrate to South Africa.
Wow.
But suddenly we didn't, because my dad had this ability to talk himself out of anything. And I fight very hard against that.
Yeah.
You know, so I will only move when I'm sure it's the right thing to do.
Yeah. So that's you using your inner authority. So now, if you just know that it's that feeling on that roller coaster, shall I, shan't I, do I, don't I, whatever the emotion is, it's just that you will come out the other end of cool, calm, collected, and that's when you make your decision. It's like, for me, it's been helpful to help me move through the emotional waves and know that I'm going to come out the other end. But it's also then like, what did I learn in that emotional wave that informs this decision I want to make? So that's quite it's quite handy. But where's the summary, right? What else? So the other thing I want to just pull out on is your profile 6-2. So this is like how your energy is seen and received by other people. And this is quite interesting in terms of what you were talking about. So the 6 line is the role model. So, you know, you were saying your niece, in your niece's eyes, you're the role model because of your work. But actually, you are seen by many people around you, whether you know it or not, as the role model because of the whole journey.
Yeah.
And they say about the 6 line is that you kind of have these pivotal moments in your life, usually around the age of 30, and then again around the age of 50, where it all sort of cements into place, and you go, oh, okay, that's what the journey was all about.
Yeah.
And you're able to look back, and it's actually a very visionary and kind of, it's a leadership kind of role that you're here to. So that's how your energy is felt and seen. And then you have the 2 line. I'm a 2-4. The 2 line is the hermit. Doesn't sound very glamorous, but this is, so it's like the need to retreat, the need to be alone, to replenish, to be in your own like thoughts and your own ideas, in your own space. And it's also a very natural, passionate kind of vibe about you. So I have this too. And oftentimes, you said that, I can't remember what you said now, but oftentimes you don't necessarily see what you're good at, because it just comes very easy and naturally to you. So when you find something in your life that just feels easy and you're frustrated that other people don't seem to find it as easy, that's when you know that's your thing, tapped into your thing. So that's a little bit of an introduction. There are layers and depths to this, but I just think when you hear something like that, you kind of can't deny some of it. Like, this is your natural nature, it's your energy, who you came here to be.
And we talked before about the comparison with Myers-Briggs. So I was an ESTJ.
Me too.
So that is
no surprises.
the difference.
So I guess Myers-Briggs is based on I would say your mood on the day and how you're answering the
Yeah.
questions, right? And who you're working for at the time,
Yes.
the role you're playing, all those things. So I was an ESTJ, whether I did it 20 years ago, 10 years into my career, at the end, and no surprise that you are too, because I think 60% of Swiss Re were ESTJs. It was
Yeah.
like the biggest profile, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And then I took the test a couple of years ago, and I was an INFJ. So only one letter had stayed the same. I had completely flipped it on his head because my circumstances had changed. I'm in a different role.
Yeah.
I'm like, I have a different view of the world. I'm in a different mood, depending on when I did it.
Yeah.
And so, yes, that can change based on your circumstances, based on your beliefs as you grow and evolve. Whereas this is an energetic frequency that you were born with.
Yeah.
So there's no getting away from it.
No.
It's
no,
just whether or not you're living in an alignment with it.
Yes.
And I would say from the story we've just heard, there are a lot of clues as to why you've made the moves and the choices that you have, because you are following your energy. You're not like resisting it.
Yeah.
So high five.
Fascinating.
So yeah, that's Tracy.
Thank you.